about Jasmine Crockett today. Hello, everybody. Puffin here from the Fairy Liberation Front, Peace Pipe Party, Philly Revolution, Church of Judas. We're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett today. Okay, Jasmine Crockett, first woman president USA deserves. The first woman president USA deserves. The person who should be president next. Okay, I mean, I guess we could go through a phase of President Grassley if we have to get through the last 3 years of Trump's term. We can do President Grassley because they'll impeach Trump, Vance, and Johnson. So we can have the super old dude, President Grassley, I think. He might also have to get impeached, but President Grassley could be the next president. So let's touch grass, give some credit for President Grassley possibly being the president for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. Or they can move the election up or do some type of other interesting things. I don't know exactly how that would play out, but I think that Jasmine Crockett will be our next president and our first woman president. Not our next president in the sense of if Trump doesn't live that long, then of course J.D. Vance will become president. If J.D. Vance did the 25th Amendment, then J.D. Vance will become president. If the Democrats impeach Trump, then you really better impeach Vance and Johnson too. So um, that's President Grassley. We would have President Grassley for a short period of time. And he probably, would be mostly involved in trying to clean up the mess of Trump, trying to make himself look good and American and presidential by undoing what Trump would do, I would hope, to get us kind of back to a baseline before we even have an election between President Grassley or whoever, would be running on the Republican side and Jasmine Crockett. So Jasmine Crockett, as far as I understand, can run and win the Senate race and be in the Senate and then run for president, or she could drop out of this race and let James Tallarico, who seems decent, to be the senator and be running for president. She could already be running for president now. I don't see why a presidential race, when you saw the example of Hillary Clinton's 2.5 year presidential race versus Kamala Harris's, 107-day presidential race. Um, I mean, there's I'll put it this way, there's no reason to put it off, to think that the excitement will die down or something like that, or put it off to create more excitement or more hype building up to it. It's like, go ahead and start running for president now against Trump. Give him something else to do. Give him something to worry about. What would be the sound bites every day if Jasmine Crockett was currently today running for president against Donna Kupitensky? And Donna Kupitensky says what he has to say, and Jasmine Crockett says what she has to say. Like, she'll be destroying him every single day between now and then if she just runs for president. So I think she's the one they're most afraid of. I've seen the details of all this stuff. Stephen Colbert canceling his interview with her opponent, James Tallarico, or being forced to cancel it, sending it online, which gave it more traction, which also crashed YouTube, which apparently YouTube was down for an hour and a half or something like that yesterday, 85 minutes, all because of the James Tallarico interview with Stephen Colbert going online. So, a pretty viral thing, although still, probably more viewers than would have seen it on TV because of the controversy of her having canceled it. But still, maybe not as many viewers as if YouTube hadn't crashed. So it seems like YouTube crashing is still, serving. Um, the Republicans. They're not crashing for Jasmine Crockett. They're not crashing to keep Jasmine Crockett's opponent from getting more views. They should both share enough views. You could tell from Jasmine Crockett's response that she was, happy for Tallarico to get the exposure. She wasn't jealous of that at all. Contrary to what some anti-blue MAGA types. Democrats have a couple of problems. Democrats have the centrists, and the blue MAGA, the blue no matter who, but they don't support Mamdani, those types. They've got the centrist Democrats who suck, who are ruining everything and doing far too much to protect the Epstein class and the Republicans and Donna Kupitensky. And then you've got these weird, like, plants, these people who are really Trump-Putiners who they put on our side in order to mess things up for us. And those people lie about Jasmine Crockett. Like, one of the main things they have to do is lie about Jasmine Crockett to make her look bad. So you kind of know you're dealing with one of them if they're lying about Jasmine Crockett. I Am Blakely's the one who comes to mind the most for me. Wow, this is my algorithm. Well, super minus one. I mean, if you're still here, uh, it's kind of a revolutionary act to find this channel, certainly to engage with this channel, but you've done well to get here. It is mostly promoted to Trump-Putin trolls. So you will see them, or not promoted to them. That's how Net and YouTube works. Just like Fashbook and Twitter would work. They would amplify, maximize right-wing hate speech so that everybody was the most enraged. It was rage-tainment or whatever. And that was their way of boosting engagement. Net and YouTube does the same thing. So I get a lot of those. But when I get a decent person, if I get a decent person in chat, if I get an American or human or somebody who's against Trump and Putin and Netanyahu, then we can really make things happen in this live. So thanks for your reactions and comments. If this is right up your alley, if you're about removing the tyrants, ending war, ending genocides, stuff you think every human would be into, but on Net and YouTube, it's the rare channel. It's 1 in 100, about 1 in 100 to 1 in 1,000 that we get, somewhere between 1 in 100 and 1 in 1,000. So the fact that you're a good person, first person chatting, that's a really good sign. Now, um, oh, thanks for the love, Jacob. Sending love back to you as well. I do want to encourage everybody that we're going to win, and we want to win as big as possible. So, for instance, Jasmine Crockett running for Senate, that's great, but Jasmine Crockett should be running for president. Let's be real. Like, who else do we have? Let me know if somebody else comes to mind in comments when I'm saying Jasmine Crockett running for president. Is there anybody you're missing? Is there anybody you're like, oh, but wait, what about, is there anybody you'd rather have instead? No, Jasmine Crockett running for president. You see what I'm saying? I even have a perfect campaign platform for her. Stop paying your health insurance, send your medical bills to the White House, send me to the White House, and I'll pay them universal health care. I've got a couple other campaign speeches. Automatic citizenship for everyone, ICE contacts, and compensation. Life in prison for all ICE agents and their enablers. Like, let's have people who are running on consequences. Let's have people running on impeach, remove, execute. So we're talking about treason here. So thanks for the appreciation, guys. Thanks for the reactions. Thanks for the comments. Keep in mind, if you're a human, if you're a good spirit of any kind, you can defeat 100, 1,000 trolls just with your comments. You can defeat 1,000 MAGA. In this live, that's the ratio. There's going to be about 100 to 1,000 Trump Hooteniers for every good person. We got 2 good people and only 1 troll so far in chat. So we're totally winning. Like, they would have to muster between 200 and 2,000 trolls to overwhelm the 2 good people in chat if you guys continue to chat and react. So thanks for being here. Thanks for your revolutionary attention. Stuffleson's here. Stuffleson's a verified cool person. So, like, we're really hitting it out of the park now. Stuffelson said, Jasmine passed the bar exam. Trump failed a dementia screening. That's a very good point. Jasmine Crockett's a lot smarter than Trump. Jasmine Crockett is also the one they lie on the most. Of course, Trump lies on her. He says, she's low IQ. Well, that's a lie. But also these weird Trump Hooteniers who masquerade as Democrats or as leftists, they lie about Jasmine Crockett a lot. They're always lying. People who claim to support Gaza are often lying. Not everybody who claims to support Gaza. I'm just saying that's one of the characteristics of this type of activist. They claim to support Gaza, but they're always lying about Jasmine Crockett. So why are they lying about Jasmine Crockett? They're lying about Jasmine Crockett. They're working for Trump, Putin, Netanyahu. So they're just exploiting all the horrors in Gaza to get attention, to get likes, to get audience, and then they're going to try to badmouth Jasmine Crockett. Well, that doesn't work. That's not how it works. And then you could say, oh, well, they're racist. That's why they're badmouthing Jasmine Crockett. But that's not it. They might be racist, but I'm saying it's also because of some type of agenda. You can tell the agenda in the lies they choose to tell. So, yeah, sorry about the Trump, Putin, neo-Nazis in chat. They're really only here. I like to curse them. I like to curse Trump and Putin and Netanyahu through the Nazis, through their trolls. But mostly I really want to talk to Jacob, if you're still here, Steffelson, And there was one more. Super minus one. Super minus one. And anybody else. And if you're a good spirit, like I want to welcome Jesus, the goddess, all good spirits, all good beings into the chat. And we really don't have time for the trolls. So, did we kill Baal yet? Yeah, I think we did. We did kill Baal because I don't know if you were paying attention to both of the lives yesterday or the day before when we were doing the kill Baal lives, kill the god of the Epstein class. But the first one took place in the morning. Then there were protests in Iran where they burned Baal in effigy. You don't hear about that every day. And then we did another one at night. So yeah, I think we effectively killed killed Baal, the god of the Epstein class, whose the pronunciation of his name does not matter, because he's a dead god who we successfully killed. We also, yesterday I was focused on removing Candace Owens and Erica Kirk, the two Nazis, the two low-level Nazis, from the game board, from the equation. Oh, dude, the curses have been working. The fact that you haven't experienced the curses yet, maybe you're meant to be spared. Maybe you're supposed to betray Trump and turn back to Jesus and turn back to the goddess and good spirits and turn back to America and humanity. Maybe you're meant to betray Trump. Maybe you don't deserve curses. Maybe the curses really should focus on some of the worst trolls. Oh, I'm a real witch. Flacurono, who claims to worship the Morrigan. Sarah Dwinye or something. Let's type them again. Type your goddesses again you're so proud of. Type your goddesses' names again you're so proud of. Can't be a witch. He's a man. What an idiot. Oh my gosh. Okay. George is here. Oh, yeah. George is boring. If anything's a shaman, but highly unlikely. Dude, we call ourselves witches. Doesn't matter what gender it is. Everybody who's a witch calls themselves a witch. And you also don't know my gender. So you're like making 4 different mistakes in one sentence. Like you're a total idiot, dude. Stop being an idiot. Okay, we're talking about Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett, an extremely high IQ person, an extremely high intelligence person, Jasmine Crockett. And we're talking about how fake leftists have to lie about it. We're so many levels beyond your trolling bullshit. We're talking about how fake leftists have to lie about Jasmine Crockett because they're afraid. They're working for Trump and Putin and Netanyahu, afraid of what Jasmine Crockett will do as the first woman president the USA deserves. Let me know if you think there's a better presidential candidate out there than Jasmine Crockett. Dude, y'all aren't people, George. George's comment was, have you ever noticed that more people don't like you that do like you? Dude, you're not people. I mean, maybe you're Russians, but you're not people. You see what I'm saying? Like, like the closest thing you guys to being people would be as if you're Russians. If you're Trump Putiners, dude, you're even less people. You know, if you actually live in America and you're talking like this, you're even less people. You matter even less. You're the least mattering lives of all humans. The least mattering. So the problem is it takes 100 or 1,000 of you. We go through about 100 or 1,000 of you in the live before we get to one human, before we get to one good spirit, before we get to one intelligent person. We go through about 100 or 1,000 of you. So what? You're just bait. At this point, you're just bait for someone smarter and someone with a bigger intelligence than you to come through. You're just taking up space. The way algorithms work, the more triggered your dumbasses are, type in comments, the more bait is out there for other people to, the more, times it shows this live to other people. It's stupid. It's a stupid system. Like the fact is, if I could talk to more intelligent people than you, that's the only people I would talk to. I wouldn't even read your comments if I had more intelligent people commenting. There wouldn't be time to. But I can't help but read your comments. It's like reading subtitles on a screen. You're going to read them if they don't go by fast enough. So that's why we need good people to write comments and react so we don't have to read the trolls' comments. It's pretty simple. Why one good person leaving comments can defeat 100 to 1,000 trolls. Because you don't have to pay any attention or give any energy to any of these weak-ass trolls that don't deserve it. They're not going to do anything with it unless you curse them, which I like to do. I like to curse the trolls, and I curse Trump and Putin and Netanyahu through them. so that they actually do some good. Stuffelson always got good comments. Stuffelson says people have been mentioning Mark Kelly lately as a potential. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm not like, no, no more white guys for president. Mark Kelly can be president if he wants to be president. That's fine. Not Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's already sold us out. So we need to go ahead and we need to take off the table the people who don't belong on the table. We're talking about Mark Kelly. I like that. Mark Kelly was a fucking astronaut, dude. Like, he's the one that Trump targeted. If Trump's targeted you, you're a good person to replace Trump. Mark Kelly, that's a great choice. I like Mark Kelly. That sounds good. I've liked everything I've seen Mark Kelly say. I mean, again, I think everyone could be speaking more strongly, but he's great. Mark Kelly's great. I like Jasmine Crockett. I think Jasmine Crockett, if Jasmine Crockett had a primary with Mark Kelly, if Mark Kelly won the primary, I think all Jasmine Crockett supporters would support him. It wouldn't be a problem, if he won it fair and square, if he didn't do some Hillary shit. If Jasmine Crockett won the primary, I think most of the Mark Kelly supporters would support Jasmine Crockett, and the only ones who wouldn't are just racist, and they just need, they're sexist or something, and they need to fix themselves and support Jasmine Crockett. I think if that was what, but I appreciate that contender. Mark Kelly, Jasmine Crockett, either of them could have the other for the vice president. Like, I'm down. I was saying AOC, Jasmine Crockett, either order, but only those two with each other for vice president. AOC's done a little disappointing things. Yeah, RFK Jr. has the brain worms. Brain worms, not fungus. Wrong kingdom. But I like Mark Kelly as either AOC or Jasmine Crockett's vice president. I like Mark Kelly as president with AOC or Jasmine Crockett as vice president. It's not just because we have already had a woman vice president doesn't mean we can't do it again. But it would be, I think, more exciting to have a woman president, Mark Kelly for vice president. I stand for Jesus and curse. I don't curse people. I curse Trump-ooteniers. Let's be clear. People are a precious category. MAGA, Trump-ooteniers, have devalued themselves out of that category. Any supremacists, Zionists, supremacists, any supremacists are less than human. Why are they obsessed with trying to be better than other humans? Because they know they're less than human. They could evolve into humans. They could do some personal evolution and become humans. But yeah, cursing MAGA, cursing Trump-ooteniers, that's all they're good for. They carry the curses back to Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. They're vessels. They're vessels who carry all the curses from Trump and Putin and Netanyahu down to all of us and curse all of our lives and affect all of our lives with their evil curses of the Antichrist, Donna Kupetinsky, his daddy Vladdy, the devil, Netanyahu. Those are evil people cursing us through their minions. So I'm cursing them back. I'm cursing them back through their minions. When their minions come into the chat to troll for them, I curse them. I curse their families. I curse Trump and Putin and Netanyahu through them. Maybe they shouldn't be here. I'm not asking them to be here. George says, I know you're a human being. I am, more or less, but you just don't get it, dude. You just don't get it. And I don't mean to be so freaking rude, but you just don't get it, man. You're on a different planet. Yeah, Earth. I'm on planet Earth. Trump-ooteniers are Space Force in the streets, Flat Earth in the sheets. You guys are completely in opposite world. The opposite of everything any of you say is true. The opposite of what Trump says, thinks, and does is Jesus. That's how true it is. Jesus is the opposite of Trump because Trump is the Antichrist. So the opposite of everything Trump says, thinks, and does is Jesus. It's the only value he provides to the world. He does a lot of evil that doesn't make up for this value. It's not worth it. But the silver lining only good thing about Trump is that the opposite of everything he says, thinks, and does is Jesus. So, hello, Ellie. I don't know what T and TTD is. I don't know what that is. You have to kind of explain what that is. Is there such a thing as a black supremacist? I mean, there's black people who get sucked into white supremacy. Isn't all supremacy, isn't Zionism and all other types of supremacy off-brand white supremacy? Aren't the BJP or whatever they're called, the Indian tyrants, white supremacy? They're just Indians. They're just brown supremacy or whatever. They're all off-brands white supremacy. It's all Nazism. Stephenson says, The only true things Trump has ever said: I don't care about you. I only want your vote. And smart people don't like me. I mean, he has said those two true things. But it's like broken clocks being total Jew victory. Sorry, I would have to read your comments like that because when you say something about Jew, it makes me think that you're a Russian. So don't be a Russian. No, it's not, dude. I mean, anyway, I should never try to talk to the Trump Putiners. They're not intelligent enough to speak to. So I really appreciate you when you're anti-Putin, if you're anti-Putin, anti-Netanyahu, if you're against the tyrant, especially if you're against all three or four of the major tyrants in the world right now. But if you're against a tyrant, you're in the right place. I'll quit being so rough on you, brother. But you just don't get it. Dude, you never were rough. You were never consequential. Your words didn't never hurt. They never broke through. It's not because I wasn't listening or something. I probably read a lot of your comments. It's just you don't have anything to say. The only things you're ever going to say are the things that Trump and Putin want you to say. I know what Trump and Putin want. Like, I know what Trump and Putin and Netanyahu are up to. There's some genocidal evil tyrants. You're one of their minions. Shit ain't hard. Stop being a Trumper. You know? Stop being a Trumper and you'll be worthy to talk to. Dude, the only thing I'm talking about is how to get rid of Trump. Jasmine Crockett, great presidential candidate to get rid of Trump. If that's triggering you, it's probably because you're a Trump supporter. You don't even live in America. You don't even go here, dude. And, like, who cares what you think? Stop pretending that your thoughts are important. You can have important thoughts, but you're not right now. The thoughts you're having now are reduced to the level of what Trump and Putin want you to think. Even if you don't think you think about Trump and Putin, that's obviously where you're coming from. Why would you be bothering to troll me when all I'm ever doing is trying to stop genocides? Unless you're pro-genocide, stop being pro-genocide. Shit ain't hard. There's nothing to get. You guys are just dumbass Nazis. No one's going to get your Nazi propaganda. You can keep spewing it in the chat, and unfortunately, you might sway some type of idiot who has to read it. But you ain't swaying me. Like, there's nothing to get. I'm just allowing you to be here to make fun of you and curse Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. Dude, there's not really a fraudster. We're talking about Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett should be president. I feel bad for everyone that cares about America because Trump is destroying it. I mean, that's a good point. Stuffelson, that's a pinnable comment. Trump is destroying it for Putin. I mean, he's not just doing it on his own. It's not like Trump just hates America. Trump is just a little bitch to Putin. Trump is Putin's puppy. You should have put Putin's puppy in the pound. Most people, why did this person say most people? Bob, why did you say, do you know most of the people there are all the same race, right? All people are the same race. Dude, there's one race. It's the human race. I don't even know where you were talking about. The Middle East, they're not the same race. I mean, everybody's the same race. They're not more the same race than other places. Everybody's the same race. There's a human race. Race is for racists. You're never going to fucking listen. You're never going to listen. And I know I get under your skin. And I'm worthy to talk to you. You'll never debate me in front of everybody. You cheek and shit. I just read your entire comment. It had zero value. Like, say an idea that you think you have. I have ideas. Automatic citizenship for everyone ICE contacts and compensation. Life in prison for ICE and all its enablers. Those are two ideas. Send all your medical bills to the White House. Send Jasmine Crockett to the White House. Universal health care. Those are ideas. Do you have ideas about those ideas? Do you have ideas of your own? Do you have ideas of Putin's that you would like to present to the chat? I don't think so. So there's no debate. We can't debate. You don't know what a debate is. That's like saying, I'm going to eat this peanut butter and jelly sandwich and then biting a stop sign. You don't know what a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is. You think the stop sign is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you took a bite of that instead of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, I can't with you. You're not intelligent enough to have a conversation. I ain't trolling you. I just want to have a fucking talk. And I want everybody to hear us to debate. Okay, I'm reading your comments. I'm reading your comments out loud. You haven't presented an idea. You've just whined, I want to debate. I want to debate. It's like you're a child. It's like you're a toddler and you think you heard something, you know? You heard somebody say, you know, murder. You're like, I want to murder. I want to murder. Because you heard the word murder. Like, don't. You don't know what a debate is. You can't present an idea. You're incapable of presenting an idea. If you could present an idea, we could have a debate, but you can't present an idea. If anyone's capable, hello, Joseph. Joseph's capable of presenting an idea. We might discuss the idea that he might present, but we probably won't debate it because we don't disagree about that much. You claim to be somebody that disagrees with me who we could debate, but you don't have any ideas. So there's nothing we can debate. I gave you 3 of my ideas: automatic citizenship for everyone ICE contacts, life in prison for ICE and all its enablers, send Jasmine Crockett to the White House for universal health care. I have 3 ideas. You don't have any ideas, so we can't debate. Hello, Inner. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. Peace be upon you and blessings for your Ramadan. When does your Ramadan begin? The truth is like light to vampires. Keep going, sir. Thank you. And I mean, there's bad vampires and good vampires too. Nothing against vampires. Guess who is here? Your Muslim friend. Thank you, my Muslim friend. I have made a few Muslim friends in the chat so far. Everyone who comes in and identifies as Muslim, unless they're lying and faking it, is super nice and friendly. And it obviously shows that Islam is a superior religion to Christianity. So thank you for showing that in everything you say and do. We have all these Christians in chat who are a bunch of terrorists and trolls and hateful, terrible people. Yeah, you could just stop being Nazis. If you don't support Trump, you're not a Nazi. If you're against Trump, if you're against pet off. So the other possibility for this chat was to do a per survey. Maybe I'll do a survey. Can we do a survey between? Damn it! How do I do a survey? Stickers, effects, create highlight, green screen. I'll create a highlight. The other thing I was going to do is ask between Petoff and Donna Kupatinsky. What are the best names to make fun of Trump with? Petoff. Petoff is really taken off right now. Petoff is doing gangbusters. Petoff is going viral. Petoff or Donna Kupatinsky, though. I didn't make up Petoff. Savage. Appreciate you showing my channel love. Did I find your channel yet, Savage? Thank you for commenting, because the only way I can find your channel is if you comment on my videos. So thank you for commenting on my videos. Of course, I'll always return comments and show appreciation to people that appreciate my content. You know who has a brainworm is RFK Jr. RFK Jr. has a brainworm that Putin controls. Putin has a remote control brainworm inside RFK Jr.'s. You know when RFK Jr. gargles Trump's balls? Shouldn't Trump feel like he's putting him in a garbage disposal? Like, you know how when you get something stuck in your garbage disposal and it sounds bad? That's what RFK Jr. sounds like. So when he's gargling Trump and Putin's balls, don't they worry about their balls getting all ground up in that garbage disposal of a mouth he has? Puffin is an animal, exactly. It's a bird that flies as well as it swims. Yes, I make fun of Nazis. I make fun of Nazis, and Nazis get real butthurt about it, and people laugh. It's fun. They've got that hive mind they are so worried about. Yeah, they cannot stand somebody making fun of Donna Kupatinsky, blowing Bill Clinton. Oh, let me read Stuffleson's comments. He knows the rules. If you put an emoji in chat, I'll read all your comments, because I may have missed one. Jasmine passed the bar exam. Trump failed the dementia screening. People have been mentioning Mark Kelly lately as a potential presidential candidate. I like Mark Kelly. That sounds good. The only true thing Trump has ever said, I don't care about you. I don't want your vote, and smart people don't like me. I feel bad for everyone that cares about America because Trump is destroying it. Honestly, dude, I just thought about something about Mark Kelly. There's been this big trend that a lot of black people have bought into about stay home, stay on the couch, don't participate, you know? And honestly, if they want Jasmine Crockett to be president, they should probably start participating. Not just black people, but all people. If you want Jasmine Crockett to be president, you should probably start participating. Otherwise, yeah, let's go with Mark Kelly. Let's just go with Mark Kelly. Let's not try to make any statements or do anything. Let's just have an American, white American man, not orange, not a traitor, not a terrorist, not an Epstein class, you know, just white American man, Mark Kelly. Let's go for it. Let's do it. Black people have been deciding, too many of them have been deciding to rest or allowing the rest of them to decide to rest. Okay, y'all rested. You want Jasmine Crockett to be president? Next time, sure. Maybe she should be running for vice president. But Mark Kelly, sure, let's go with Mark Kelly. That sounds good. Has he announced he's going to run? I think also the first person to run should get credit, whoever it is. You know, if it's Stephen Colbert, you know, if it's who's the other good one? Jimmy Kimmel. If it's Jimmy Kimmel deciding to run, if he decides to run now and is going to start taking it to Trump every day, dude, he can be president. I'm fine with him being president. I'm fine with Cardi B being president. You know, I'm fine with any of them. Kamala is more qualified than Jasmine, but who cares about Kamala? Kamala lost, and she wasn't, you know, she wouldn't even defy Biden's orders not to criticize the Gaza policy, you know, the pro-genocide policy. Like, Jasmine Crockett is anti-genocide, and they lie about Jasmine Crockett and say that she supported the genocide in order to diffuse her support, in order to knock off supporters for Jasmine Crockett. The fact that they have to lie about her shows that they're afraid of her. They don't have to lie about Mark Kelly, but they got to lie about Jasmine Crockett because they're afraid of her, and they're racists. MAGA doesn't have anybody, and Trump should be gone. Like, Trump's health is not good. But yeah, Joseph Bearpaw says MAGA doesn't have anybody. Yeah, you said something about, okay, why would you ask my opinion on Philip McCrack Wickham? Like, don't I look like a person who cares about people? I want all the Epstein class arrested. So I don't have an opinion about him other than a bad opinion. But my opinion about arresting him is good job arresting him. Why don't they arrest Trump and Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and so on and so forth? Did that answer your question? Yeah, MAGA really doesn't have anyone. They don't have Trump. Putin has Trump. My three ideas: term limits, ranked choice voting, repeal Citizens United. I agree with all those things. All I can do is repeat those things. Term limits. I mean, I don't care that much about term limits, but I'm not going to argue with you about it. It's not my top priority. Term limits, ranked choice voting. That sounds awesome. Ranked choice voting makes a lot of sense. And repeal Citizens United. Ranked choice voting seems to be the end of the Republican Party. It means the ranked choice voting seems to be how you can take the Democratic Party and replace the Republican Party with some other parties. Maybe replace both parties with some other parties, which is fine. In which part am I in? In America? I'm in the middle part, in Colorado. Go Broncos. Broncos are going to win big this next year. We're going to win it all. Yeah, bingo. Putin has Trump in his back pocket. People talk about things as if that's not the most important factor. Putin runs Trump. If we look at things in light of, well, what's Putin trying to do via Donna Kupatinsky today? If we look at things in light of what's Putin trying to do through his pet Pedov today, then we can understand what's going on. That's all that matters. Netanyahu is in the exact same relationship. Netanyahu, Putin, that's why I call him Trump, Putin, Netanyahu. They're all the same thing. There's no difference. And the worst crimes Biden did were not released, the worst crimes Biden did were not arrest Trump, not stop the genocide in Gaza, and not release the Epstein files. And those might all three be the exact same thing. Think about it. It's good to see you, Stephelson. You have a good night, too. Weapon Man says, these people can't understand the idea of ideas. Only propaganda. Yeah, they can't even have an idea. That's how zombified they are by Trump, Putin, and Netanyahu. Ben Carson would run circles around Crockett. Like, you literally just brought up Ben Carson, who I'm pretty sure died. I'm pretty sure Ben Carson is dead. But you had to reach into the grave of Ben Carson to think of a black person that you approve of. A dead black person. Jesse Jackson just died. You could have, if you really wanted to say a dead black person could out debate Jasmine Crockett or something, you could have said Jesse Jackson. But no, you had to go for Ben Carson, a Trump Trumpeter, who I'm pretty sure is dead. Like 5-10 years dead. What does that say about you? That the first black person you could think of that you agreed with is dead and has been dead for 5 or 10 years, and you act like you don't even know that he's dead because your comment was Ben Carson would run circles around Crockett. If you were aware that he was dead, you might have said something like Ben Carson would have run, because you're not even aware he's dead. So the one black person you can support, you don't even support or know enough about to know that he's dead. Like, that's crazy. Isn't it fun to be able to say dead on TikTok? I mean, on YouTube, instead of being on Trump Talk, having to say unalived. Like a fucking moron. Oh, Ben Carson's still alive? Which one was I thinking about died? Who was the 999 guy? I think Ben Carson's dead, actually. I think he died of the Trump virus. Y'all sure like to talk about black and white, huh? Google is a wild thing. Rerard. Rerard. You know what rerard means? It means you're not American. Nobody in America says that word. If the files were persecuted, all governments would collapse. Threaten me with a good time. Like, is that a problem? I don't understand what. So prosecute the files, collapse the governments. People will have another form of government after a government collapses. Shit ain't hard. The first black person. Was the first black person he thought of to try to debate Jasmine Crockett? Is Ben Carson dead or not? Come on, y'all. I think Ben Carson's dead. Who am I thinking about? Who was that 999 guy if it's not Ben Carson? I'm sorry if I confused the two of the four black people who support Trump. I know there's Tim Scott, who I call Tim Rice, which I do feel slightly racist that I call Tim Scott Tim Rice. I don't know why I call him Tim Rice. But Tim Scott, there was Tim Scott who used to support him anyway. There was some Porch MAGA, or what's his name? Kanye West. Kanye West used to support him, and then he said he's apologized for being a Nazi. Thank you, Joseph Bearpaw. Yes, Ben Carson passed away on September 23rd, 2024, 2 fucking years ago. He was a prominent neurosurgeon and served as the 17th United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. He was a piece of shit. You would have anarchy. Y'all are so afraid of anarchy. Like, anarchy would be better than governments run by pedophiles. Sorry, that's a hot take. But yeah, anarchy would be better than governments run by pedophiles. But we won't have anarchy. People will have governments. They'll just replace the people. Like, it's not even like governments will collapse. You just replace all the people in those governments. The government systems weren't like, which pedophile will be the president? You know, they don't call for a pedophile. The recipe for the governments doesn't call for pedophiles. You can just have non-pedophile people in those positions. Shit ain't hard. You guys are literally bootlicking that hard that you're scared of government collapse if they prosecute pedophiles. Just get the fuck over it. Yeah, Putin's a pedophile. Netanyahu's a pedophile. Dominic Kupatinsky's a pedophile. Shit ain't hard. Get rid of them. You know, you'd be much better off. Ben Carson's dead as shit. For all you dumb fucks in the chat who are like, Ben Carson it's dead. He's fucking dead. Okay, he probably died of the Trump virus. I know dumbass, you got the Darwin Award. Dumbass Trump's brother got the Darwin Award. You know, died of the Trump virus, probably. You would have anarchy. Maybe North Korea would be more fitting for you. We're going face deep on this boot. Dude, you gotta see this. I just did like 7 clips of it, 6, 7 clips of it on my channel. This fucking video, it's Raccoon, Nicki Minaj, Nicki Fuentes Minaj, Tyronika Biggums licking Pete Off's boot. Pete Off, I mean, oh my gosh. I still call him Donica Patinsky because I made up Donica Patinsky. And I do want to do like a quick survey. Vote 1 for Pete Off. I mean, not for him, but for calling him Pete Off. Vote 1 for calling him Pete Off. Vote 2 for calling him Donica Patinsky. Or suggest another name in the chat. If anything else is as good as that, it's either of those. No, Ben Carson's not dead. He is alive. Then who was I thinking was dead? Hold on. You also said Ben Carson passed away in 2024. No, Ben Carson is not dead. Well, who was that guy who was that other black dude that was a Trumper that was running for president and he did the 999 thing and then he died? It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. They're not important. Like, they're really the least important people. We were talking about Jasmine Crockett, and then somebody tried to bring up Ben Carson. Ben Carson. Somebody tried to bring up Ben Carson. Ben Carson might say, well, I don't think that you should talk like that about me. Ben Carson was always pretty close to dead. That's why argument with itself is problematic. He's highly intelligent and can run America. Dude, is this guy this is Ben Carson. Bob is Ben Carson. He's surely the only person stumping for Ben Carson. He says Ben Carson is amazing. Dude, he is Ben Carson. I guess Ben Carson is alive because he's in chat. That's hilarious. The only Ben Carson supporter is Ben Carson, and he uses the profile Bob2GS19. Oh my gosh. Well, that was ridiculous. We all thought you were dead, Ben. I mean, even when you were alive, we thought you were dead. But, yeah, he was always talk like me. He was talk like, well, I don't really necessarily want you to think that I'm not just sleep talking. I could be talking in my sleep. I don't want to startle anybody. Be talking. They thought Epstein was dead too. I mean, that was a funny thing you said. That was like an insightful thing you said. I don't think a lot of people thought he was dead. A lot of people noticed that he's still playing Call of Duty, apparently. People can just check his Call of Duty logs and see that he's still playing his Call of Duty account. You would think that if, like, you know, you were trying to convince the world that you died, you would just start a new Call of Duty account. But I guess Call of Duty was just as important to him as Call of Child Booty. So, the call of the child. Anyway, fuck his fans. Sir, you are doing the Lord's work. I can't believe so many still think this way. We have every resource to know better. Isn't it hard to believe that even 4 people, enough to be trolling this chat, still think this way? And yet, you know, if all the people who still believe Trump were in my chat for some reason right now, that still seems like a lot. It seems like that's a lot, dude. 4 people who still believe this bullshit. But thanks for being here. You might like my content. I do a lot of content. A lot of it's pretty random, or like just, you know, fairy nature related stuff. But if you scroll through, I'm sure you'll find something you like, and leave a comment and we'll stay in touch. And that's a revolutionary act, just to scroll through my channel and comment or engage with stuff, because it's highly suppressed because of the ideas I express, such as, I'll repeat, automatic citizenship for everyone ICE contacts, life in prison for ICE, all ICE and all their enablers, And send Jasmine Crockett or somebody good to the White House for universal health care. Send your medical bills to the White House. Yes, good shit. I'll check it out. Thank you. Again, your comments, usually most of my videos get comments from Trump Hootenir trolls, and that's it. So it doesn't even get shown to people that might like it because these Trump Hootenir trolls use their superpower of ratioing me, or whatever, and the algorithm and everything. We can break through that stuff with just some intentional engagement. So thanks for engaging with my content. If I do see your profile, I will go to your profile, and if you have content, I will engage with your content as well. You're going to quit being so shitty. Good job. Yeah, being human beings is a great standard. I think you have to kind of come out of MAGA, kind of have to come out of being a Trump Trumputinir to be a human being again, because they've reduced you to supporting pedophile fascist Nazis, which, like most of our grandparents, fought against the Nazis. So it's a very strong disrespect to our ancestors not to, at least with our words, fight against the Nazis. Like, we have a problem with Pedoff. Like, the name that's catching on for Trump right now is Pedoff. I still want to do a survey. There's only three or four of you in the chat, but Pedoff, vote 1 for Pedoff for calling Trump Pedoff or Pedoff. 2 for calling him Donna Kupatinsky. I personally came up with Donna Kupatinsky. I think it's hilarious. I think people should call him Donna Kupatinsky, but it hasn't caught on as far as I know. Yes, we are all humans stuck here together. We must get our shit together, and we don't have forever to do that. The sooner we do it, the more time we can all spend living the better life. There's a better life post-Trump, post-Putin, post-Netanyahu. There's a better life post-fascism for all of us. And the sooner we get to it, the longer, say we're only going to live so long each. Well, we'll have more of that lifetime spent without fascists in this paradise. Just, and we can enjoy that time. And really, we can't enjoy anything until we get to that time. Because look at who the rulers, look at all the evil things they're doing. All these evil rulers who are protecting the Epstein class, they need to be stopped. Shit's not hard. We're setting some examples of some of them, and then once it starts coming around, we'll set some examples of some of them in America too. They're sucking all the good shit up, making it suck. Yeah, they're wasteful consumers of everything because they're super. Starboy the Night is here. He says unity. Thank you, Starboy the Night. And we're going to defeat them. We're going to win. I'm coming out of matter, but I'm going to be good to you, dude. We're all brothers. Thank you. I don't know what you mean by coming out of matter. That's interesting. It's an interesting choice of words. George said, I'm coming out of matter. Secretary, who's still a fascist as far as I can tell, says, with politicians and people like you, we can't enjoy a damn thing. I'm the one trying to save it from the politicians who are only protecting the Epstein class. These politicians are not protecting your gun rights, Alex Preddy. They're trying to threaten you for having a gun, like they did Alex Preddy. They're trying to do a terrorist attack on the First Amendment. Alex Preddy, they're doing a terrorist attack on the Second Amendment. They're trying to do a terrorist attack on the Second Amendment, Alex Preddy. They're trying to do a terrorist attack on the First Amendment. Renee Good, Kathy Guthrie, or Karen Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mom. I'm not going to quit MAGA. You do want to quit MAGA. I'm a Trump fan. Stop being a Trump fan. Do you not realize he's a giant pedophile? As you know, but I'm not going to continue to be mean. I just want us to all be brothers. Let's be brothers, but seriously, I can't just get along with you if you support this giant pedophile who's destroying our country for Putin. Like, what do you support more, MAGA or America? Like, if you found out that MAGA is intent on destroying America, would you come back to support America? Or you'd be like, well, I guess I'm for destroying America too, because MAGA. Like, it's a simple question. Think about it, because that is the situation we're in. You just don't realize it yet. But if you can just imagine it for a second. If the proof comes out, Trump is only working for Putin. He's only doing this to destroy America. What's your comment? Bob, I can only read a few more comments because I got to shut down the live. I've been live for almost an hour. You look like a newborn kitten. Thanks. That's cute. George, you don't have to be sorry for being mean. Just break up with Trump and Putin. Come on, dude. It's America. You seem like an American who cares about America. Well, that's gotta pit you against Trump. Trump is trying to destroy this country. I'm not a crazy person telling you this. Everybody sees this. I'm one of the only people like talking about it this much because he's doing it for Putin. Other people talk about it like he's just doing it to save his ass or for money or something. He's doing it for Putin. Trump doesn't have any reason to want to destroy America. Putin does. George says, I'm sorry for being mean. We all just got to stick together, brother, no matter what opinions we have. I apologize again for being such a rude bitch. I don't even remember anything you said that was rude. Like, you're remembering that more than I do. I appreciate the apology. I'm not saying that your apology doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, you don't understand how used to Trump losers I am. I'm not saying that, like, they just don't matter. Trump, expressions of people who support Trump don't matter. They don't affect me. You don't have to feel sorry for him. Like, let's just change. Like, I appreciate the new sentiment is much better, but let's also rescue you from Trump. Dude, it's an evil thing to be part of. He's the Antichrist. Joseph Bearpaw says, the man who sues others at a drop of a hat for defamation never has countersued Katie Johnson for defamation. And believe because Katie Johnson has accused him of things that he actually did. Probably rapes and assaults and stuff. So he's not going to sue her because it would be proven that he did them. But he does sue everybody else for all sorts of stuff. It's a very good point, Joseph, but I just don't know if it can register in them yet. Dump Trump. Earth Heart. Yes. That tells you all you need to know. Ecclesiastes. Democrats took out the. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Starboy the Night. Is that saying what you meant it to say? My voice next spells wrong. My voice text spells wrong. Okay, you use voice text. Okay, that's interesting. My voice text spells wrong. You'll see the next couple of texts, but I apologize again for being such a dick. To you, we're all brothers. It's cool, dude. I have no ill feelings towards you, George. Even if you remain a MAGA, I do appreciate you talking nicely, but I also think that it's my duty to try to rescue you from Trump. I voted for Kamala and the genocide, despite her genocide. Because Biden failed us in 3 ways. He didn't arrest Trump, he didn't stop the genocide, and he didn't release the Epstein files. And those might all 3 be the exact same thing. They might all be the same thing. So Biden's kind of a traitor. Kamala's kind of a traitor. But I still voted for her over Trump. That's just the way it had to be. So mortals took out the word of God? How weak really is your deity? Yeah, we're studying Baal, this evil god Baal. And one of the things that came up was a Jewish king who was like, let that god defend himself. Because his son, I think, his son Gideon had criticized the god. And everybody was ready to kill Gideon for criticizing the god. And he was like, let that god defend himself. Brothers, are you sisters? Earthheart, fuck their power. It's you and you are us. Yeah, power to the people. Don't say Donald Trump's ass and Putin in the same sentence. Gives me a horrible picture in my head. Well, they're the same thing. I say Trump, Putin, Netanyahu. I almost never say one of them without saying the other two because they're all part of the same evil. Oh my gosh. Why are you people like racists and stuff? Hi, Ethan. Court filed, still on record. Trump is king. I wish we had another 4 years after this term. We have no kings on Turtle Island. Yeah, we're kind of against kings in lots of ways here. Hey, brother, I respect you, man. I'm going to chill out. We just have your opinions and we have the right to have our opinions. You're a good dude. You got the right to your opinions. I appreciate that, George. And you have the right to your opinions, too. I just want to encourage you that your opinions are not your opinions. You have opinions. Think about what you were like as a child. And then when you became Trumpy, those aren't your opinions. Those are Trumpy opinions. Like there's nothing wrong with other races or women or gay people or anything. There's nothing wrong with any of those things that you probably have problems with just because Trump trained you to have those problems. Trump or other evil people like that trains you to have those problems. And you don't need to have those problems. You'll be better off without those problems. Jesus is available to you to help you out of those problems. There's a real Jesus. He's the opposite of Trump. Check out the Church of Judas, hashtag Church of Judas, to replace all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. So, thank y'all for being here. Especially nice to meet you, Weapon Man. And nice to see you again, Stephelson earlier, and Joseph Fairpaw. Now it's nice to see you. Nice to see you, and nice to meet you for the first time to the other people who have arrived recently. But I will shut down the live because it's been like an hour. And I really just wanted to get people's opinions on Jasmine Crockett, talk about how since they're lying about Jasmine Crockett, you know that she's going to be president or she's going to be powerful. And talk about what the best nickname for Donna Kupatinsky is now. I call him Donna Kupatinsky because I made that one up. I think Donna Kupatinsky is hilarious and very fitting. But Pedoff is pretty solid. It's pretty punchy. Pedoff is pretty punchy. So, I think calling him Pedoff. No, dude, Pedoff is what everybody calls Trump now. Check out my channel. I just clipped a bunch of videos of a really cool video making fun of Pedoff and Nicki Minaj. So, Pedoff is great. I didn't make that up, though. I made up Donna Kupatinsky. So, really, what I was going to try to do was go live and just have a poll, which I still never figured out how to do. Have a poll that, yeah. I wanted to make a poll or a survey to see whether people like the idea of Donna Kupatinsky or Pedoff better. Really acknowledging that everybody's going to choose Pedoff. Most people are going to choose Pedoff. But, most people are going to choose Pedoff, but it'd be a way to get Donna Kupatinsky out there. I respect you too, George. It's cool. Dude, don't feel bad. I am not about making people feel bad. Trump Putin, sure, I'll make you feel bad. But in order to get you to feel good by breaking with Trump, I want to welcome all people back to humanity and America and goodness and Jesus and stuff. Just break with Trump. He's really bad for you. And we'll welcome you back. And, help you heal from, you're just, like, he made victims of all these people. He lied to a bunch of people. Made victims of people. And he weaponized people's own racism and bad qualities that people already had on their own. But we can help you from out of those too. It's great you have a Ukrainian flag there. I'm from Kiev. Thank you. I would like to say thank you, everybody in Ukraine. I want to emphasize that real Americans like myself, we respect Ukraine, not just because principles and all this stuff. We know that Ukraine and everybody in Ukraine who's not a traitor, everybody in Ukraine is doing more to save America from Trump and Putin and Netanyahu than anybody in America is doing. I feel like I'm doing the most because I'm at least saying that. I'm at least acknowledging that everybody in Ukraine is doing more to save America. Not just Europe, not just Ukraine, but to save America from Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. Y'all are doing it, so you are our heroes. Ukrainians, we owe you everything. I was really wishing just today, this is the very last minute of the live, I gotta go. But I was really wishing just today that Europe would just take Moscow. Take DC too. Like, we will support that. We're not going to cry about that or be upset about that. If Europe just takes Moscow and takes DC, we can end this evil that threatens not just both of our countries and other countries too, but the entire world. So it's time to do that. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all check out my content, comment on my content, and we will discuss further. Please be the voice of the Iranian people. There's a massacre going on here. You guys don't ever do what Trump tells you to do. When you get massacred because Trump told you to go protest, we don't fucking care. Sorry, but fuck you. Never obey Trump. Never do anything Trump tells you to do. That's a big mistake. Save your protest for after Trump is gone. Help us overthrow Trump, and then we'll help you overthrow your rulers. See y'all later.